What's going on, guys? I want to welcome you guys to Jayla Consultants. Okay, so first of all, I'm really excited because I have another YouTube page. If you don't follow it, please follow it. It's just a journey on me, my wife, my 3 daughters. We left Texas and we currently live in Puerto Rico. We're building a house off-grid on the mountains. I'm from the city. I know nothing about the mountains, but I'm learning. We've been here for over a year now. I wanted to do another channel talking about, people are always asking me, how do you do it out there? Do you currently work in Puerto Rico? So I wanted to answer a few of those things because we have a lot of people who want to be entrepreneurs. We have a lot of people who may or may not know how to work while making extra money in their business, how to start a business, how to get an LLC, how to do things like travel for business and be able to write those things off, how to build business credit, how to start a business with little money, $500, $1,000, or maybe even no money. So I want to be talking about that on this channel. I want to be inviting different people. Some people who are making millions of dollars, some people who are making a couple $100,000s, some people who are doing full-time their business, other people who are working and doing their business, have a day job and have their business. So they have 2, 3, 4, up to 7 different sources of income. So I'm going to be talking about those things. I'm going to be learning as you guys learn. I'm going to be growing as you guys grow. I will say this, I've worked for corporate America and I've had my own business. The last 8 years I've been able to be self-employed. During that time I have worked with different companies while doing my business. I have also started other businesses, and currently as we speak I have 3 different businesses as well as work a contract job for a company that I started on Monday. So I just want to share with you guys how you could do this, and everything I've been doing the last year and a half has been working from home. I have traveled some, but most of it has really been from home. Please share this channel with others, subscribe to this channel. Feel free to let me know in the comments what you guys want to talk about. We'll be talking about different things from taxes to crypto to stocks. It doesn't matter if you're a CPA, it doesn't matter if you are in healthcare, it doesn't matter if you're marketing, whatever it is that you do, we want to talk about this. I'm even going to interview teachers who are doing online teaching on their own, and they're making more money than they've made working in the school system, and yet they're working from home, being with their family. So it's all about freedom, it's all about learning. I will also be sharing my story. I'm going to be sharing a little bit about my life, what I've done and what I'm doing, but just a short story. So I barely graduated high school. I mean, like literally barely graduated high school. And in my YouTube description, I put that I barely graduated high school, but I actually spelled barely incorrectly. I spelled barley. And a friend of mine says, hey, excited about your channel, but you spelled barley instead of barely. So I guess that kind of proves my point, me barely graduating, right? I barely graduated high school. I actually didn't graduate on time. I graduated 3 months later. Maybe one day I'll share that story. It's actually kind of funny, but kind of sad at the same time. However, I remember that I was trying to get a job. I was trying to work a Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 type of job because I needed some more consistency. At that time, I was trying to get into the music industry and I needed more money so I can invest in equipment and recording stuff. And I went to this doctor's office. A friend of mine was an office manager. I went there to do an interview because they were looking for a receptionist. I had no healthcare experience whatsoever at all. I showed up, the doctor liked me. He says, I like you, but unfortunately you have no experience. I'm not going to be able to hire you. Went back to my job. At the time I was working at Starbucks. On Monday morning, I get a phone call from the doctor telling me the girl that I hired never showed up. Do you still want the job? I'm like, of course I still want the job. He said, if you could get here, you have the job. I remember that morning I woke up, I got a ride because I didn't have a car at the time. I got a ride from my cousin and I had no scrubs. Everybody was wearing scrubs. I had no scrubs, so I wore a suit. I had a suit with a tie and I showed up to work to pick up phone calls. And we had like 6 different lines and I had to pick them all up. I remember 4 months into this job, I hated it. I was overwhelmed. I went to the bathroom, called my mom and I said, I'm not gonna do this no more. I was maybe about 19, 20 years old. I said, this is just too much. And she says, just hang on, learn everything you could learn. So what I did is I went back, shout out to my mom. I went back, I continued working there. I think I worked there for about 2 years. What I decided to do is there was this girl named Tiffany, shout out to Tiffany, who would take me to work and would pick me up because she worked there. Tiffany would pick me up, take me to work and take me back home because she lived close to where I lived. And we both worked in the same place. We went to high school together. So what I would do is I would stay after work for a little bit and I started learning different things. I started learning insurance, what insurance plans were. There was a lady who sat behind me who verified insurance. I wanted to know, what does it mean to verify insurance? I started learning different things, copay, deductibles, you name it. Just started learning everything I could learn. Fast forward, I ended up being in healthcare for over 10 years. And I learned just about anything you could think of, from billing to management, managing staff, hiring staff, how different systems work, worked with dermatologists, hand surgeons, podiatrists, you name it. There was a point in our life where my wife wanted to stay home because she was pregnant. She was about to have our first child. I didn't know how we were gonna do it. We were struggling. Every month there was a check that was not gonna get paid. But my wife decided to submit an application to a surgery center doctor's office. I got hired. I was really excited. I got hired. Keep in mind, at this point, I had been maybe in healthcare for at least 6-7 years. I started working at this job. You were supposed to have a bachelor. I didn't know that. I don't have a degree. Like I said, I barely graduated high school. So here it is, working there for about 2 years. I learned more and more. I learned more about how to build for in-network. I learned how to build out-of-network. I don't want to bore you with what I learned, but I learned a lot of stuff in healthcare. Company actually closes. When the company actually closes, there's a few doctors who are getting paid very well. They don't want to go work anywhere else because they're not going to get paid that amount. They want to start their own business. And guess who they reach out to? First doctor reaches out to me and says, hey, Jimmy, can you help us out? Or can you help me out hiring staff, X, Y, and Z? I'm like, yeah, I got you. Help the doctor out. After helping the doctor out, he writes me a check. And I'm like, what is this for? He's like, for helping me out. It was there that I learned that what you have here is money. Now, I won't say the rest of the story, but just so you know, that opened many doors for me. It built confidence in me. I ended up having more clients, and I currently do a little bit of healthcare. I do a little bit of business development outside of healthcare. I do marketing. I just want to share with you guys more of my story as we go through this journey. I want to grow with you guys, and I want to inspire you guys and teach you guys how to find jobs that are online that you could do from home right now, 2-3 hours a day. You can make an extra $1,000 a month to start investing in whatever dream you may have. Subscribe, follow. I know I talk fast. I'll slow it down one day. Maybe not, but until then, we'll talk soon.